Today is January 6th, 2025, and it is exactly 4 years after January 6th, 2021, which we all know what happened. Well, we are watching live right now. This is the certification of the election. Fox News is broadcasting. I'm going to go cut to it here.
Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 3 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 3 votes for vice president.
So this is what's been happening state after state, and I'm going to comment on this a little bit while this is going on, but there's actually something much more important than this that's happening in not just the United States, but specifically in Texas. The Republican Party has a divide, a major divide. And I got to tell you about the background of this. The Texas House is about to elect a Speaker of the House in just a few days. The Republicans have a majority, over 80 Republicans, and that's enough for the Republicans alone, if they're unified, to pick the Speaker of the House. The problem is the Republican Party is not unified because there are some House members that are outliers. And here's what I mean by that. There has already been a caucus of the Republican members, and they have chosen who they want to be the Speaker of the House. However, the person that won that majority is not being supported by the people that didn't vote for him. They're trying to vote for someone else, and they're trying to pull Democrats to vote for that other person. And why? They're trying to do that in order for them, these personal members, to retain their committee chairs. It's a selfish political move that they're making, as opposed to coming in and supporting the actual Republican Party. That's the major issue that we've got. And the reason why I came live actually is not just to watch this, not just to watch the certification of the election, because that's happening. It's going smoothly, a lot better than what happened 4 years ago for reasons we won't go into now. But the issue in the Texas House is major, because what happened when Phelan, the former Speaker of the Texas House, on his first day, he came in and basically said, here's the programs and bills that the Democrats have put up that we're going to pass, because the reason why he was able to be the Speaker of the House is because he had Democrats that helped him get on board, even though the majority of Republicans weren't supporting him. That can't happen this time. That's not supposed to happen. But the electors, the representatives that you have voted for and put in office, your House representatives, there are several of those representatives that are not supporting the Republican that's wanted for the Speaker of the House. It's a major issue. And I went into that issue with my guest just yesterday evening. We're working to put that episode out. It'll be out here soon for you. My guest was Abraham George, the chairman of the Republican Party of Texas. And that's a great episode. I'm looking forward to that. And in the meantime, I do want to comment on what's happening now in Washington. So here's a new one that's coming up. Amy Klobuchar
to the President of the Senate is as follows.
Here we go.
The whole number of the electors appointed to vote for President of the United States is 538. Within that whole number, the majority is 270. The votes for President of the United States are as follows. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes.
Wow.
Kamala D. Harris.
This has to be really tough for her. How is she holding it together? This is a historic.
Kamala D. Harris of the state of California has received 226 votes.
Wow. Wow.
The whole number of electors appointed to vote for Vice President of the United States is 538. Within that whole number, a majority is 270. The votes for Vice President of the United States are as follows. J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio has received 312 votes.
This is actually coming kind of more articulate than I've seen her be in almost all of the things that I've watched her in.
Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota has received 226 votes.
Hardly any applause for Tim. You hear that? There's a big difference.
This
He was
announcement
the wrong
of the
pick.
state of the vote by the President of the Senate shall be deemed a sufficient declaration of the persons elected President and Vice President of the United States, each for a term beginning on the 20th day of January 2025, and shall be entered together with the list of the votes on the journals of the House and the Senate. Thank you very much.
Wow. I actually was in that room about a month ago. Very cool room. Very historic room.
The purpose of the joint Senate having been concluded pursuant to Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 2, the 119th Congress, the chair declares this joint session dissolved. Thank you.
Doesn't look like Trump or Vance were there. And there's Amy Klobuchar right there. So, historic moment. That went down a whole lot better than it did in 4 years ago. Thank God. And but stay tuned for the next episode with Abraham George. You got to watch that one because he goes into exactly what's going on, and you're going to be flabbergasted. If you're a Republican who voted for a House Republican member, in fact, one of those that's on the list is Jeff Leach, and my parents live in his district, and it's an issue. It's a problem, and you should become aware of that. And there is a website, and do you have that website? You remember that website that he mentioned to us yesterday? We'll put it on the show, and it will inform you about that. But if you leave us a comment on this live video right now, in the comments there, we'll reply to your comment with the link to that website. You can actually check out to see if your Texas House representative is on the right side of that issue, because it's essentially giving a whole lot of power to Democrats that the citizens of the state of Texas have decided not to give them. But our elected Republican officials some of them are trying to do exactly that. We're going to expose them on this show. Thank you for watching now. We're going off the air, but we really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and if you have friends that are Republicans, share this with them because they need to like and subscribe too. You got to see this episode with Abraham. Thanks, Trinity. This is the Lawyer Dana Show.